You know, no matter how crazy Detroit gets, we always seem to be one big family, even in the underworld. Even though different bosses had their own crews, they were somehow tied in together. This is the story of how Demetrius Halloway, Maserati Rick, the Curry brothers, the Chambers brothers, all came together to create what is Detroit Best Friends Gang, Detroit Raw.
The maid, or if you the motherfucking bodyguard, everybody get extras around here, friends benefits. Everybody travel from place to place and kick it with each other, and every place is like home. Every place we stay at, LA, Atlanta, Detroit, we have homes, our own homes. We don't have to go in and rent shit. We got our own houses, we got our own cars, we got our own hoes, we got our own clothes. You know what I'm saying? And we can't be stopped.
If Butch Jones is the quintessential Motor City drug kingpin of the early 1980s, Demetrius Halloway held that title for the later half of the decade. Halloway was a businessman's gangster with a lethal reputation on the streets. He dressed like a corporate CEO, yet wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty when the situation called for it. Smart, magnetic, feared, respected. Halloway embodied every quality of the consummate crime lord. It was a powerful mix that took him to astronomical heights.
Robbing ass boss, then you're gonna be a robbing ass crew. If you got a real boss who know how to sacrifice and take the bad along with the good and show his crew know how to be men, then this what you get. Everybody shining like new money. And ain't no other crew like this in the world, and never will be another. Not black, it never will be, because I said that if niggas like this is shining all together, being together, doing shit every day, then they gonna fall out over some money or somebody gonna rob, steal, and kill. I have yet to see that. All of us get along with money. We had money, we been had money. Money ain't nothing.
Starting out as a dispute of Frank Usher and his Murder Row gang back in the 1970s, Halloway took a burst for transporting stolen goods across state lines in 1980 and did 5 years in federal prison. Released in 1985, he hit the streets and began to cobble together his legacy. Using an inheritance from his grandfather and some money he had stashed away before becoming incarcerated, he purchased his first major cocaine shipment from Art Derrick and Doc Curry. Parlaying the money he made from his early drug sales, Halloway put together a successful, legitimate business portfolio. Within 2 years, he was supplying over 3/4 of the city's crack houses.
My first run, I had no idea of what I was carrying, what vehicle I would be in, how many would be in there, and where I was going. As you're about to leave, it's, hey, look, we want you to go to this city. There's no address or this person, and you'll get a call. So you just do what you do and call us every couple hours. If you get any issues, make sure you call us. If they're pulling you over, call us immediately. Let us know the mile marker you're at, what city you're in, everything. We got you. It is the paramount thing with BMF is such a security blanket and such a collective of men moving in the same direction that are willing to die for you, that you're not nervous because nobody else is nervous.
Quickly emerging as the city's top wholesaler, Halloway sold most of his drugs to the Chambers brothers gang, a drug empire headed by 4 siblings from Arkansas who operated over 100 crack houses throughout southeast Michigan. He became close with the gang's 2 leaders, BJ and Larry, and they became his workhorses. BJ ran all street activities, and Larry bought the Broadmoor apartment complex on West Grand Boulevard and turned it into a vice emporium, a one-stop shop offering drugs, sex, gambling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. By maintaining ownership of the popular chain of athletic shoe stores called the Sports Jam, and hunting quantities, a real estate booth, both locally and across the country. Halloway was able to wash his money just as fast as he was making it. Known as a heavy gambler, he frequently jaunted to Las Vegas and Atlantic City for card and dice binges that could either win or lose him hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time.
Don't get nothing like this nowhere. Everybody move like brothers, and then everybody from different places. Milwaukee, St. Louis, Detroit, Texas, Atlanta, Cali, you know what I'm saying, Florida. We got people from everywhere in our mind. Everybody move as one. Everybody is prospering in some kind of way, in their own way. Every man plays his own role. And everything starts with the leader. I'm a good leader, so I got good people that follow.
Born on the east side of the city, Demetrius Halloway grew up in the same neighborhood and the same social circles as future world champion prize fighter Tommy Hearns. Before he got into a life of crime, he tried to live on the straight and narrow, taking a job as a postman. But it was a half-hearted venture. Halloway was drawn to the streets like a moth to flame. And he was a natural, headquartering his operations in Chalk and Q, a pool hall he ran on West 7 Mile. Halloway recruited childhood friends, Richard Maserati Rick Carter, to be his right-hand man, and immediately started a rapid succession up the gangland's rank. Before long, he went from buying a dozen kilos at a time from Art Derrick and Doc Curry to consummating a wholesale deal with Colombians in the Bahamas, cutting out the middleman and smuggling the bricks through U.S. Customs himself.
Maserati Rick was a pretty cool guy. I liked him. He was mellow, down to earth. He was friendly to anyone and anybody. He wasn't out there to hurt nobody, but he didn't want to be hurt. He would help anybody that asked.
Demetrius was a true Don. Both Boyd recalled him and Maserati Rick were holding it down for real. Rick was more flamboyant, but Demetrius was calling all the major shots. They both used the hit clubs, all iced up and sporting full-length mink coats. We all knew from the day Demetrius got out of prison from doing his 5-piece in '85. It was only a matter of time before he became the man. That's just how he was. A couple of OGs hooked him up to start, and he got his feet wet. Learned the new game on the street, which was crack, and blew up quick.
I don't see nobody stop. I don't see no one to come after us either. None. Nobody will never do this again, because this many niggas and this much money can't get along and stay together. They gonna fall out over girls or something. We don't fall out over no girls. We hit them all. They hit my hoes, I hit they hoes. The ones that don't want to be shared, then that's your own personal one. Other than that, then we ain't falling out over no hoes.
While Halloway was dangerous but deliberate, those he surrounded himself with were brash and ruthless, with absolutely no method to their madness. And they would turn out to be his downfall. Quick to remove himself from the day-to-day street operations of his organization, Halloway outsourced much of his strong-arm work. Maserati Rick, although an able-bodied enforcer, he was a Golden Gloves boxing champion as a teenager, and Halloway's eyes and ears on the street was only one man. He needed help and a crew of heavily strapped foot soldiers watching his back. Their help would come from the Brown brothers, 4 siblings, each a year apart in age, raised on the east side, who headed the crew of like-minded goons called the Best Friends. Terrence Boogaloo Brown, Reginald Rockin' Reg Brown, Gregory Ghost Brown, and Arza Wizard Brown were hungry for a piece of the pie in the local underworld and made sure everyone knew it with their quick-triggered antics.
I'm steady moving up, man. I'll be moving up real quick soon, but I want to know what it'd be my bodyguard. I said, how much you talking? He said, man, I'll give you a couple $1,000. Just hang with me. Make sure nobody, do anything to me. I said, what about my friend? He said, man, I just want you. Thought about it. I said, okay, cool, but when am I supposed to get this money? He pulled out $2,000, gave it to me. At that time, $2,000 for just hanging with this fool? Cool with me?
Scowling and brutish, they each cut imposing figures, all standing 6'2" and weighing over 234 pounds. Ghost and Wizard, the two eldest brothers, had t-shirts and jackets and hats made up with the words best friends embroidered across the front in big bold letters. They were all known to drive the same cars, different colored BMWs and custom made Suzukis, and kill anyone who dared get in their way on their climb to the top. Not to mention countless others. While its predecessors like YBI and Pony Down murdered in the name of profit and greed, the best friends did it for pure fun. Upon meeting the Browns and their crew at a downtown nightclub, Halloway tapped them his official enforcement unit and began dispatching death throughout the city. They were brutally and intimidating and took pleasure in the hunt.
To do it, I just had to, I said, hey, give me the money and I'll butcher him right here. I pulled out both my knives. I got them right now. Just offer me the money. You can watch me gut him, cut off his head or any part you want. You said, and he's done.
There was a no tolerance policy with Demetrius here, boy. And if you crossed him once, you were done. Maserati, on the other hand, who was Demetrius' guy on the street, was more laid back. And some people probably thought they could take advantage of it. That's why they brought in the best friends to use as muscle. They were straight thugs, cold-hearted killers that hired themselves out for different enforcement jobs. Eventually, things got out of hand with them, and Demetrius and Rick couldn't control their activities anymore.
He steps over and said, man, what's up? I said, no, what's up on you? He said, man, I thought you was going to stay away from Rick. I said, no, Rick's still paying me. Man, he can't be paying you laying up in the hospital. And plus, the guy said that as long as we pay his bill, he don't care what happened to Rick. Yeah, the Colombian said as long as somebody pay that bill, he don't care what happened to Rick. Basically, the Colombian is saying that he don't give a fuck if you do something to him and then. He said no way, just